Hi, I'm Lemmy from lotr. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm starting another army. God, I really fell in love with the models from the Hobbit line. Like the Mirkwood elves I recently painted. I thought they were amazing, full of detail, the plastic kits. Especially compared to the stuff we get from Lord of the Rings. I really fell in love with the models and I wanted to paint more of them. So I decided to go to Azog's Legion, one of the most expensive armies I can imagine in the game right now. Maybe Ruffians as well. One of the more expensive armies you can have. So of course I bought it. I bought Azog, foot and mounted, and one box of orcs, and fuck failcast. Just to get that out of the way, I really hated putting them together compared to Forge World. But anyway, I still have to buy a lot more to even get to 400 points. It's really expensive, but I actually enjoyed painting the models quite a lot. I got inspired by this guy. He'll be here somewhere, and I forget his channel name. It will be visible on the screen right now, but he started an Azog's Legion army and I watched all his videos about it, and they look really cool and he really got me excited. I commented on his video and here I am now. And I'm not gonna lie, my painting scheme is inspired by him, but shittier. Because I know I have to do a lot of orcs to make up a force and I don't want to spend like 2 hours of work on a single orc. Because if you have to paint 40 or something like this guy did, it's a lot of work for orcs that are not gonna be that long on the table. So I dumbed it down a little bit, and also I don't have the skills this guy has. He's an amazing painter. Check him out, by the way, he looks like a very cool guy. So today we're painting one of the orcs. That's about all I have to say, I think. Yeah. And I'm too excited to start painting, so let's jump cut to the desk right now. Fuck, what was that? It felt weird, it felt cringe. And welcome to the desk. As you can see, I primed the orc itself in a pale color. I think it's grey seer, if memory is correct. And as you also can see, I already painted the base, but I of course used the wrong base. I of course used the wrong color. So now I'm gonna go over it with dryad bark to start painting the base. It's gonna be pretty similar to the Mirkwood Palace Guard I painted recently, but with a little twist. After I gave it a good layer of dryad bark, I went for mournfang brown as a highlight on top of that. I applied it with a dry brush, just to get some definition in the parts where the base is a little raised. And after that I did a varnish, a gloss varnish, in the hopes of just making it look more like, mud. But of course I didn't have a gloss varnish, so I asked my wife and she gave me fimo gloss varnish, and it took very long to dry and I didn't want to touch it to check if it was dry, but it stays glossy, so it's hard to know when it was dry, so I just left it for a whole night. And I did that with every orc. I batch painted them all and I kept this one separate just for the video. Now to give the mud a little bit of a highlight, I use Steel Legion Drab. It's pretty much the same basing scheme as my elves, but with a gloss varnish sandwiched in between 2 layers. It's been copied a little bit from Swords and Brushes. The guy is pretty awesome, and yeah, I blatantly copied it, but shit here. That's pretty much the theme of the whole video today. And to make sure that people know that I'm serious with painting these orcs, I even painted the base, the rim of the base. Something I usually don't tend to do, and I use dryad bark for this. It's an easy way to make your orc look, it's gonna look a little bit more professional, a little bit more clean. And I have a couple of 100 dwarves I should do this to as well. If you want to see me painting base rims for hours on end, just leave a comment below. It will be a weird video, but you guys are the boss. Now to the orc. I watched the video of this guy. Still forgot his channel name. I have it here somewhere, but yeah. And after watching that, I started with a color scheme in mind, and it's pretty much my Uruk-hai color scheme, but a little bit different. So to start off, I paint every part of his armor in leadbelcher. It's a nice dark metallic. It's not too shiny because these are orcs, they're not gonna take great care with their armor. And after doing that, I painted dryad bark. Once again, I use a lot of dryad bark in this paint scheme because it's a lot of browns on these orcs in the Hobbit movies. I use that on his pants mainly, and the shirt he's wearing underneath his armor. There are also a couple of flaps of skin, I was gonna say. There are also a couple of flaps of cloth or leather or whatever you want to call it, and I painted doombull brown in ways that the details don't get lost practically. So the pants dryad bark, and if there is cloth on top of that, I use doombull brown. If there would be any cloth on top of that, I would use dryad bark again, make it a little bit of a sandwich, but it's gonna look better doing this, and it's gonna take less paints doing this. Once again, I want to make a pretty big army out of this, so I want this paint job to be fast and look pretty good as well. Now for the skin of the orc, I have a little secret I can share with you. To paint decent orc skin, I just use any fucking green I have. Like, I just go to my greens or even blues, and I just painted his skin that color. And after the wash, I just highlight it up a little bit with the same color if I feel like it, and it will look good. There are not a lot of colors that I wouldn't use, like a light blue would look a little bit weird, but pretty much any green I've ever used looks pretty good. In this case I used that world forrest, and I think he looks pretty orcish, at least his skin does. Then I used ashen grey for his belts on his armor, and also if he's holding a spear I just use ashen grey as well for the wood. and every orc gets abbadon black hair from me. And if you look at the movies, most of them have pretty dark hair, so yeah, abbadon black is just easier, especially if it's gonna be a little bit of a horde like these guys. Then I wash everything in nuln oil. And with everything I do mean everything except the base. We already painted the base, we're not gonna touch that one. And once that's dry, we're done, and we only have 200 more to go after I buy them. But this one orc is done and can sit with his leader Azog that I already painted up. If somebody wants to see how to paint Azog, I still have him on his warg ready to paint up. So yeah, leave a comment, let me know if that would be something you would like to see. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will try to paint some more just general Hobbit stuff. I'm really enjoying the detail that's in the models and the more dynamic poses. It's a little bit more fun to paint than Lord of the Rings for me at the moment, because the models do look very 2D at points. And they have lost a lot of detail since the day they came out, because the molds are getting real old at this point of time. So yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. If you liked it, leave a like. Remember to subscribe if you want to see more. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Painting buddy, you okay? Oh. She just killed a fly. Ignore that. What was I saying? Yeah. So yeah, but thought you got the flare. Hey. So yeah, I don't know why she's angry at me. She started hissing. Is it because I'm talking to a camera and not you? Is it because you feel like you don't get enough love? Yeah. I'm sorry, Kitty. Yes. Okay, we got the obligate. So I got painting buddy in so I can use her in the fucking thumbnail, because she's cute as fuck and I want to use her for every thumbnail ever now, so prepare yourselves. I hope I was fucking recording.